People really don't know what their expenses will be because they don't know how long that they're going to live.
Americans are worried they won't have enough saved for retirement now more than ever.
Retirement is going to cost, for many folks, over $1 million.
Is no sure thing in investing, but a lot of people think that annuities may come close to that.
It's going to more safe things that they know. If they know they're going to need that money to supplement their retirement, well, then you can't play that risk.
This is the Safe Money and Retirement Show with Jon Heischman Sr., founder and partner of Heischman Financial Services, serving the Columbus and surrounding areas. Jon specializes in educating pre-retirees and retirees about safe money strategies and ideas. Now, it's the Safe Money and Retirement Show. Here's Jon Heischman Sr.
Welcome to the Safe Money and Retirement Show that you've tuned into. My name's Jon Heischman. I'm your host. And as with every week, I want to bring you some information that will help your retirement planning, both now and in the future. I often say if there is a topic that you would like for me to bring on the show, please let me know, because there's a really good chance other listeners are concerned about the same topic. I had a listener that contacted me with a concern about all the different retirement accounts that he has and all the different places that he has as well. Because many of you know you can have a retirement account, and when I say retirement account, we usually refer to an IRA, individual retirement account. IRA money can be in many different places. So having too many accounts and in the wrong places should be a concern of every retiree. So many retirees find out about their accounts and don't know what to do with them. Think about it. Throughout your working years, you have had many opportunities to save money for retirement. And of course, we're always told to diversify, which diversification is the key to retirement success. Yes, that is true, but I'm referring to being retired. Is diversification the right thing as far as you end up having too many retirement accounts? And many find themselves with multiple retirement accounts and, for example, several CDs, maybe a money market account, 2 annuities, 2 IRAs, a 403B, and possibly a 401k. Oh, let's throw in a brokerage account or some mutual funds along with that. Having too many retirement accounts is a high-quality problem, but it's a problem that can be solved, and it's something I like to do, meaning take a look at all retirement accounts that you have going into retirement or in retirement. Figure out your income, which accounts the income is going to come from, and how to consolidate accounts, and then determine what type of an account that you should have, meaning as far as risk. And of course, which accounts are going to be generating income and when they're going to be generating income. Some may start right away. Others might be delayed due to each individual's tax situation. All of that is much easier when retirement accounts are consolidated. So as I mentioned, we want to determine which account the retiree should spend first and how should the withdrawal be taken. When that time comes to use some of your savings to supplement your retirement income, The more accounts you have, as I said, the more difficult it will make for you. As an example, one of the biggest and most common retirement mistakes is withdrawing the interest only from your non-qualified CDs, annuities, money market accounts, and other interest-bearing accounts. Taking the interest only may seem like a good idea because you'll still have your entire principal. Here's the problem. All of the interest you withdraw is going to be considered taxable income. With CDs and money market accounts, the interest is currently taxable whether or not you take it out. So your non-qualified savings accounts, they can be consolidated into one tax-deferred account. That will only be taxed when you choose to withdraw some of your interest earnings. These type of accounts, with very few exceptions, use what we call last in, first out rule. So what does this mean? It means when you choose to take withdrawals, they're going to be considered taxable interest until the entire amount of your taxable interest earnings has been removed. The advantage of tax deferral is when you can decide when the tax is due by taking withdrawals when it best fits your plans. So interest has to come out first. It's taxable. Then you go into principal, which is non-taxed on these non-qualified accounts. I want to help my clients to control their taxable income after retirement because of the additional tax benefits. The more taxable income you have, the more likely you'll find yourself in a higher income tax bracket. We want to prevent this. If your taxable income exceeds the Social Security income limit, you may be forced to pay income tax on more of your Social Security benefits. So choosing the right account will be less of a challenge if you consolidate some of those accounts and use income strategies. That's going to lower your overall tax bill. And I see it all the time where Social Security taxable amount isn't even taken into consideration. Many of you have not been exposed to what I'm referring to. That's why it's so important to consolidate, have a plan that will correlate with your Social Security benefits. Give me a call. We can work together and review all of your accounts. What should be left alone? Is there potential for consolidation that's going to be in your best interest? Here's the number, 888-426-0177. That number again, 888-426-0177. Or if you want to call me direct at my office in Reynoldsburg, Ohio, 614-861-7055. We can schedule a time in my conference room, or if you want me to visit your home, I can do that as well. And the good thing is there's no obligation, there's no selling involved, and there's no cost. Possibly we can work together in the future. If not, then I like to look at it. I've made a new friend. So most people are going to have 3 different types of qualified accounts. I discuss the importance of taking required minimum distributions after turning 73 in a previous show. And if for some reason you missed that, you can go to my website, heischmanfs.com, heischmanfs.com, and listen to previous shows. After the break, I'm going to give you a good example of a problem when it comes to required minimum distributions and having multiple accounts. But before I take a break, I want to emphasize again the importance of taking income distributions from the right accounts at the right time. The bottom line is minimum taxes from distributions during retirement. And you get into retirement, and those of you that are retired know what I'm referring to. You have to pay taxes now, whereas when you were employed, you still had to pay taxes, but it was different because your employer was withholding the taxes and you just didn't miss it or see it as much as you do when you're retired. So very important. Stay with me. I'm going to continue on this subject because it's one that listeners have requested. They need to know more about, and they need to address having multiple retirement accounts in retirement. I'll be right back.
Thanks for listening to the Safe Money and Retirement Show with Jon Heischman. For more information, call 1-888-426-0177. That's 1-888-426-0177. Or visit their website at heischmanfs.com. More of the Safe Money and Retirement Show in a moment.
Avoiding mistakes can save owners of IRAs, 401ks, and TSP plans, as well as other retirement plans, a fortune in taxes, penalties, fees, and loads. These potential mistakes are addressed in the free book entitled Top 10 IRA Mistakes. This is Jon Heischman from the Safe Money and Retirement Show, offering a complimentary copy by calling 888-426-0177. Again, that's 888-426-0177.
There are some gains in life that most folks don't mind losing. Extra weight gained or credit card debt gained. The number of miles gained on your car. But losing your retirement gains is no one's dream. Would you like to retain the retirement money you've gained over the years and at the same time create a paycheck for life in retirement? Then call Jon Heischman at Heischman Financial Services, 614-861-7055. Or call toll-free at 1-888-426-0177. His clients don't lose their gains due to market risk. Their gains are locked in with no exposure to risk. Retain your gains. Losing some of the candles gained on your birthday cake would be great. Or losing some of the strokes gained in your golf game would be a dream come true. But losing retirement gains would be a nightmare. Don't risk it. Retain your gains today. Call Jon Heischman at Heischman Financial Services to find out how. Call 614-861-7055. That's 614-861-7055. Or call toll-free at 1-888-426-0177. Welcome back to the Safe Money and Retirement Show with Jon Heischman. To To contact John, the number to call is 1-888-426-0177. That's 1-888-426-0177. Once again, here's Jon Heischman.
Welcome back to the second part of the Safe Money and Retirement Show. The first part of the show, I discussed having too many retirement accounts. And again, most retirees, all or the majority of their retirement accounts are going to be qualified IRAs, 401ks, 403bs, TSP plans, creating a potential tax problem because the principal and interest are both taxed. Let's assume that each of your retirement plans have a balance of $100,000. That comes to a combined total of $300,000. To keep the math simple, let's assume your required minimum distribution for the current year is 5%. You'll need to take a total distribution of $15,000, $5,000 per account for the current year's required minimum distribution. You must take the required amount from each of these three accounts. In other words, you can take $15,000 from just one account to satisfy the requirement minimum distribution for all three, even though the total distribution would be the same either way. In many cases, it makes sense and it's best to take, for example, all three of these distributions from one IRA. But we have to be careful here. The two that you didn't take distributions from need to be documented, and correct paperwork needs to be completed. Otherwise, the IRS is going to come back and question you about the two accounts that you didn't take distributions from. Last year, I had to work with an individual that was referred to me. He wasn't a client, but he got into this situation and was questioned by the IRS. We got it straightened out. It took a while and it wasn't easy, but fortunately, we got it corrected right away. Otherwise, if it went on for years, it could have been a major problem. Needless to say, he is a client of mine, and I think this prompted him to have me consolidate three of his retirement accounts, and it's worked out really well. And we placed the money in an account that was better for him as far as his risk tolerance and future retirement income. These are the things I like to do. So if you see this potential problem or any questions, I'd like to talk to you. We can schedule a phone conversation or a meeting and talk about all those retirement accounts that you have. 888-426-0177. That's a 24/7 open line, and the message will be sent to me right away. 888-426-0177. Okay, back to my example of the three accounts that totaled $300,000 and taking one distribution from one account to satisfy the required minimum distribution from all three. One reason I might suggest doing this would be to let the other two accounts continue to grow. Or maybe there's a low interest from one of the accounts, and maybe we want to deplete that before we go into the other two accounts, because they are going to grow tax deferred. We can also choose to roll the 401k and a 403b into one IRA, and then it creates a situation where you would only need to take and manage one qualified retirement account. You only need to take one RMD. Now, if you're retired and still have some of your money in your 401k or other company-sponsored plans that are qualified, it's time to roll the plan into your own individual IRA. This will give you greater flexibility and simplify your choices when it's time to take the required minimum distribution. Keep in mind, again, the more retirement plans you own, the greater your chance of making big retirement mistakes. Another big advantage of doing rollovers into your own individual retirement account is you can now include the option for guaranteed lifetime income that you can't outlive. And typically, we don't see this option in a 401k or a 403b. You're essentially setting up your own individual pension plan, but it's much different than a company-sponsored pension plan. From the standpoint, you control the money. Income generated can be guaranteed. If death occurs, the full remaining account balance is paid out to your beneficiary, and in the future, you could stop income payments and cash in the account with the full value. Now, typically this doesn't happen, but it is an option. The point being, you have total access to your money in an individual private pension plan where the majority of the time you don't with a company-sponsored pension plan. And speaking of rollovers, that is the big reason that employers are letting employees roll over their pension money in a lump sum. You still have the option to take a lifetime income, but the actual value of that pension isn't available, whereas it is on a private plan. Amazing how many people are not aware of that. But today that option, it's available in the majority of plans because I think they want you to get that money out of the pension plan, since pension plans are not profitable today like they were years ago. Company-sponsored pension plans are disappearing each year, and many companies have switched over to a 401k instead of a pension plan. If you're in that situation, let's say you're still working and you're going to retire in a few years and you're over age 59 and a half, you may have access to the qualified money to be rolled over to your own individual IRA pension that I've been referring to. These concepts and potential mistakes are discussed in a book that I sponsor. The name of the book is Top 10 IRA Mistakes, How to Avoid IRA Tax Traps. It's about 98 pages, a very easy read, and I have an overstock of these books, which I'd like to send out to my radio listeners. You will enjoy reading this book, especially if you're getting ready to retire or you've just retired. There's no cost. There's no obligation. So what you need to do, you need to call the number I give you, and I'll give it to you again, 888-426-0177. 888-426-0177. Request the book Top 10 IRA Mistakes, or you can just say the book that Jon mentioned on his show, and I'll have that sent to you. You can read the book, and if you have any questions or concerns about your retirement accounts after you've read the book, you can contact me. So request yours today and help me out to get these books distributed. Once again, for the number, 888-426-0177. Thank you for taking the time to listen to the Safe Money and Retirement Show. As always, I welcome your feedback and questions and request. Please join me next week at the same time, same station for the Safe Money and Retirement Show.
The Safe Money and Retirement Show with Jon Heischman Sr. To get in touch with Jon, call 1-888-426-0177. That's 1-888-426-0177. For more information about Heischman Financial Services, visit their website, HeischmanFS.com. That's HeischmanFS.com. Join us again next time for the Safe Money and Retirement Show with Jon Heischman Sr.